Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because this is made for a kit for my retreat. So I know that several people who got my card at OnStage wanted directions. So I'm going to be making this video public, so I'm adding measurements into it for you. Today's card is my B card. It is a fun fold, and we're going to learn how to make it step by step. You're going to need a card base made out of thick white paper, and the base is measured at 11 by 6. Score it at 3, 6, 7.5, 9, and 10. And for our card layers, we're gonna, let's see, let me get them all out for you. You're gonna need 2 bubble bath layers, and those are cut at 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. You're gonna have 2 of those. 2. You'll have 1 out of basic white at 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. A DSP layer of 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. And this is the DSP that goes on the inside of the card at the bottom on the white. So whatever design you choose is fine. DSP is 1/2 by 5 3/4. And then we have, this is our front layer, and the bubble bath measures at 7/8 by 5 7/8. The DSP part of that is 3/4 by 5 3/4. And this is our center layer, and it is, the bubble bath is, hopefully you can see that, 1 3/8 by 5 7/8. And the DSP is 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. And this is from the Greetings for All ephemera pack, and I've just rounded out the corners. The die sets that you're going to need for this project is Wanted to Say, and we're going to use the Celebrate. Meant to Be, and we're using all the hexagons. Sketched Butterflies, and we're just going to use this one. Linked Together, and I believe this one is actually going away, but we just used these 2 flowers out of this set, so you could use any flowers. Hearts of Elegance, and we're going to use this heart right here. And I've already done all of the die cutting, but I wanted to show you before I read off the next layers. So on the Meant to Be dies, when I say a number, I'm calling this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going in. So this is 1. I'm going to start with this back layer right here, and you can see that it has a DSP layer in the center of it. So we've got 3 here. The back layers are always thick basic white. If they're not thick, they will flop over, so be sure you use thick. Okay, we're going to start at the back. And if you got the kit, you're going to have just big pieces of paper. Just make sure when you put the die on there that you get the right size. They just barely fit, so make sure, because you don't really need to save the outside ring except for on one, which is DSP, and I'll get to that. So you're going to start by cutting 1 out of number 1 hexagon, and this is thick. Then you're going to use bubble bath, and you're going to use number 2 for that. And then you're going to use the number 3 for the DSP, and make sure when you cut your DSP that your pattern is going the right direction so that the flat part is up. And now for the center layer of the card, which is this one, it is going to be the thick white for your back layer, and you're going to use the number 2 die. And for the bubble bath, you're going to use number 3. And then for your DSP, it will look like this on the other side, but you want this side. So you are going to use the number 2, but this time you're going to save this little outside ring. And if you are at retreat, be sure after you're done with the dies, you take out the ring pieces so that the next person doesn't have trouble die cutting, because sometimes if too many of them get left in, you'll have trouble. So again, save that little piece. And then for the front one, which is this one, and you can see we used that piece from the middle section. We used it right here. And so that will be your thick, which is a number 3. The bubble bath, which is number 4. And number 5 is going to be the DSP, and it's going to be the DSP with the little flowers on it like this with the leaves. And again, make sure that the top part, your pattern is going the correct direction. I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. My husband brought home some spicy green chili tamales, and I just tasted one right before the video because we're going to have them for dinner, and whew, it got me. Okay, so I think I went through the layers already, and so you're going to cut out your Celebrate, and I went ahead and did that, and I layered it up already. So this is Petunia Pop and Bubble Bath. And then out of the Meant to Be dies, you're going to cut 2 hearts. And then I fussy cut out these 3 bees. And I wanted, so you'll see, I wanted this bee to go with this flower going out that way, and this one with this flower going this way, and this one is just holding it underneath them. So it doesn't really matter which ones you use, but that's how I wanted it. And then I've cut out the butterfly and the 2 flowers, which also go on the front. Okay, so we're going to start by layering up. Let's go ahead and do this part first. So again, the back layer is number 1, number 2, and number 3. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on here, and you can just use seal or whichever tape you prefer, or you can use the green glue. Normally I don't make my retreat videos public, but since this was the onstage swap card and I've gotten several phone calls and emails about it, I figured I better go ahead and just do the video. I was so flattered that everybody liked it so much. Okay, so that's our back layer. Now we're going to do the middle one. And again, this one uses number 3, number 4, and number 5. Oh, you know what? I think that's actually, this is the front one. I'm sorry. This is the front. This is the middle. So for the middle, we have number 2, number 3, and a number 2 again. That doesn't make sense. No. This doesn't make sense that this is a 2. Hang on. I just want to make sure. No, that is not 2. I bet that is number 3. That's a number 3. So scratch what I said before. This is a number 3. And you want to keep the ring on that one. So then this must be, oh, did I make a mistake here? So I just want to make sure this is number 3. Oh, okay, so that is 3. And maybe this is 2. Oh, 4. So this one is number 4. Okay. I'm sorry about that. So this one is number 4. So hopefully you guys are watching the video all the way through first before you go and cut your DSP. But this one right here is number 4. So we have 2, 3, and 4. And I will double check the next layer too before we start it. And then save the ring. I've been doing videos all day, so I'm sorry about that. Now, if you're at retreat, you can also just hold the dies up to the sample card. Okay, and then the last one here is, I believe, 3, 4, and 5. So you're going to double check that for you just to make sure. 1, 2, 3. So that is 3. 4. And 5. Make sure your patterns go in the right way. Okay, and now this part's optional, so if you want to put this on, you can. It goes around the pink right here, around the bubble bath. And you could just put it down. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Try not to get too much glue. My glue tip is a little bit clogged. Okay, I think we're good. It's a little tricky. Just kind of have to move it around till you get it. It does kind of stretch the paper a little bit when you pull it out of the die, so you gotta try to go fast when you're putting it down. I did so many of these for on stage that I kind of had it down and it was easy, but since I haven't done it in a little bit, I think we're mostly done right. I have one little part that isn't quite there yet. Here we go. So then you have your 3 sections. Okay, so now we're going to do the card base. And again, this is 11 by 6. It's scored at 3, 6, 7.5, 9, and 10. And you want to, instead of just folding it really quick, you want to make sure you do it section by section so that it doesn't get off, because if it gets off, it will not work. It won't stand straight. So you're going to fold that back side, which is the largest part, like that. And then you're going to go up. Make sure the sides line up. And burnish. And then you're going to come down. And then go up again. And just make sure that it lines up, and if it doesn't, just kind of wiggle it till it does. And burnish it. And then this will be the front, so you're going to come down. Okay, and so then your base of your card should look like this. Okay, so now we're going to do our inside. It's important to do the inside first, because if you don't, it's really hard to do it after all the stuff's on it. And then we have our little strip of DSP. I just want to make sure it fits. And normally I do this first, and I didn't do that. So I'm actually going to take just a little tiny sliver off. There we go. You can use green glue if you're more comfortable with that. Okay, and so there's our inside piece, and we want to go ahead and put that in. And you could cut another bee or something and put it in here if you wanted to. But that's our inside. And then now we're going to work on this first back layer here. And our other bubble bath and our DSP. I think my seal is about to run out. And you can just flatten your card out to have room to work. Just make sure you don't get it too close to this crease right here. And check to make sure you're folding good, which we are. Okay, now we're going to do the center piece. Sorry if my head gets in the video. Okay. I'm actually going to go ahead and glue that front one as well. I went over. It's so tiny. There we go. A little extra seal on my edges there. now we're going to go ahead and do this next section. I'm going to use glue this time because I'm about to run out and that thing's getting hard to use. Make sure your pattern's going the right direction. I can close everything okay. So we're good. And then put the front on. The card itself isn't very hard at all. It's just got a lot of pieces. I like very layered up cards. I'm definitely not a simple stamper. There's nothing wrong with it. I like how the cards look. It's just I sometimes have a hard time doing them. I would have a harder time doing a simple card than I would a card like this. Okay, so now we have a card that looks like this, and it looks like this on the inside, which we'll glue. Okay. So we're going to start with the back. Make sure your pattern is the right way. And so for this, you're going to want it, let me show you. So it doesn't come all the way down. It's just edge to edge. It's just almost, it's like lined up with the DSP. If you get it up higher, it's fine too. But we are going to pop this up. And so we need to have a marker. So let's see, I'm going to go for this one. We're going to use that as a guideline for just to make it easier on ourselves. So we're going to put the edge at the edge of the DSP there. So I know on the back side, anywhere from here down, I can do my dimensionals. Make sure I'm got the right way. Oop, that one's too high. Get these off my finger and then I'll move that one. I don't like to press them all the way down until I know I've got it right. So I'm going to go there. And I'm going to help myself there so I don't go up too high. And since this is a moving part, I like to make sure I put a good amount of dimensionals on. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now I'm just going to take those off. And line it up. I wouldn't press it until you know. So I got about a finger there and about a finger there. So that should be good. And I'm good on the back. It didn't come through. Can't see anything. Okay. So now we're going to do the next layer. And it's the same way. I popped it up, but we don't have that lovely corner to use as our measuring tool this time. So I kind of want it about right there. You want to make sure it's centered here. And so what I do is I take my pokey tool and I go underneath and I kind of scratch it a little. Hopefully that's enough. And I can see where my line is. So I know to go across right here. So I'm going to put this here. Oh man, it's dirty. I'm sorry. It's well loved. And then put our dimensionals on. My marker. Oh, I forgot one. I was trying to pick it up and it wouldn't stick. Okay, so we have, this is ready. And we're just gonna, again, try to center it as best we can. Don't press it down. Make sure you're not showing. And then it's where you want it, which this is. And then you go ahead and press it down. Now, if you did get it stuck like this, you could always just take your scissors and snip those off and redo it. You would just snip right behind. So if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Okay. And so now we're going to do the front. And so the front is a little more difficult because it wants to pop up on you. So if you are like me and you have a magnetic board, which I use these a lot, so I just kind of come in here and go like this so it stays down for me. And then you're just going to center this. I allowed the pink to show underneath on my sample, but it really doesn't matter. The biggest thing that matters is that this lines up with your other layer there. And this one, we are not popping up, we're gluing. So what I'm going to do is get it positioned. And then I'm going to use this trick again, where I'm going to scratch it in the back where nobody can see it. My pattern's going the right way. And then I'm just going to put my glue. And go to put it back down. You make sure you line it up with the one behind it. Perfect. I just love this paper. I know we had the same paper before, but the recolor of it is just my favorite. And the little bees are just so cute. Okay, so that's all ready. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the back piece on. We're going to fold this forward. And you can hold it with the magnet or whatever you have. And so the ephemera piece, I've already rounded the corners. I'm going to pop that up right here in the back. And I put 6 on there because it is ephemera and it's not as strong as our cardstock. It is pretty strong though. Go ahead and put that on where you want it. And then we're not going to put our bee on yet because I'll show you why whenever we're done with these layers here. So we don't have anything to go on the center there. And on the front we have the celebrate. So I want to get that on here. And I pop that up. And this is going to be a little more difficult. If you cut it out on foam, it would probably be perfect. I did not do that. Wishing I had. We'll have to cut some pieces to go on that C. Let's see. I have one that's almost gone here. Gotta use the edge. Who is tiny? You could probably also cut the mini dimensionals in half and use those. So I'm just going to use a little bit there. And we'll do a little piece up here. You can kind of see it from the other side, so I'm just going to snip that corner off. Yeah, the foam would have been perfect. Okay, so then let's get the backing off of that. Oh dear, FedEx just pulled up. And if they ring the doorbell, my dog is going to go ballistic. Let's hope they don't ring the doorbell. Isn't that always the way? You think you're good and nothing's going to make sounds when you're doing videos. Okay. And I just want to center that here. I'm going to take these magnets off. And I think that looks good. So we're set there. So with these, I didn't really curl them up or anything, but you could. And I just used a mini dimensional behind them. Oh, we got lucky. They put the package on the doorstep and didn't ring the bell. Okay. And you can see the dimensional through the flower, but we're going to cover that up. And so just put your flowers on the front. Make sure they don't hang off. Okay. Now we need to bring our other little bees in here. And so I'm going to put a regular size dimensional on these. Just one. And this front bee does not have a heart behind it. So I'm just going to put it kind of hanging off a little up here. Just like that. And then I'm going to stand my card up, which it's going to be kind of hard for you to see, but I'll show you why I'm doing this. So when I have it standing up, I can see, so here's my sample. You can see how everything shows, it's not hidden. So even when I fold it, it's just barely hidden right there. So when it goes in the envelope, let me show you, because I put, I don't know if I told you, but for the envelope, it's 6 by 2 for the flap. But when you put it in the envelope, the clear envelope, it looks like that together. So let's go ahead and put our butterfly on. I do want to curl it a little bit, so just curl its wings back a little. And I already put adhesive on the back of this. I just used a little edge like I did on that C. And I want this up here. So it will get caught, but you just pull it forward. And so that's up towards the corner there. And then I want this pattern, and I'm going to do the little bee that has the flower going to the right. And I'm just going to pop it up. And we're going to put it up on the corner. It's easiest if you put your dimensional on the card so that you don't risk having it hang off the back side. So I just stuck it up on the card just like that. And now we're going to just pop this little cutie on there. And then we're going to go ahead and take this last heart. And again, put your dimensional up on that corner. So we're going to the left side up here. Yeah, I just got paper everywhere. You know, I start out with really good intentions, trying to get them in my bowl, but I always end up with them everywhere. Okay, and so this we're going to show the flowers and put the little bee on there. And I did originally use a wobble behind this one, but I took it off because, oh, I don't need that. Because it just didn't act right. So it was a fun idea, but it just didn't act right. And then you're going to put that on like that. And so there you have that. And then if you have my kit, you have two little embellishments here to put on your flowers in the front. And I'm just going to cover where that dimensional is showing. So you get double adhesive with these. Got the glue dot on the dimensional. And you could add more embellishments if you wanted to, but that is the bee card. And I hope you like it, and I hope you make it. If you make it for somebody, I would love to hear about it. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.